To start customizing your app, you're going to be hanging out in this component tab here. So you're going to want to think about the design of your app from a data structure perspective, essentially. So if you want to present data as a list, you might want to head to the list collection here and pick a component that matches what you envision the data to be presented as. So if you wanted to show a list of books and you want the picture and the title of the book and the author and the details, and maybe this card list component here is perfect. So you would click on it and drag it onto your screen, and then you would start setting up your component. So this is a list of books, and you can set filters and sorting and columns, and you can come down here and you can start mapping data to your collection. So this is called magic text in Adalo. And if we delete this, you'll see that if you click on this icon here, you can pull information from your collections. If we head back up into card lists, you'll notice that there is currently no quick actions. And I mentioned before that quick actions are very important in Adalo. So right now, if someone were to click on a list item here, nothing would happen, which isn't ideal. So we need to add an action. Because we don't have a detailed screen, we need to link to a new screen. So this will be our book detail screen. And we want this to give more information about a book. So we'll go to info and we'll select this screen here and click create screen. And so now you'll see that the click action is to send data from this screen to this screen. So we want to see details of the book that we clicked on. So we'll click done here. And now we'll click over to our book detail screen. And just because we selected this layout doesn't mean we're stuck with it. We can always add and delete components from this. And we can start mapping these components to our data. So again, if we had an image in our book collection, we could map this image to our current book's image. And we could also click on this text component here and we could delete all this. And instead we could link to that current book's book description if we had that in our collection. And like I mentioned, we could delete this component and replace it with something else. So let's say we wanted to add a different type of button. We could come here, go down to buttons, and we could select maybe a toggle button that would allow someone to favorite or unfavorite a book. So similar idea here, we're going to set this up. What does this toggle do? It toggles a current book as favorited by the logged in user. And then we have our active icon and our inactive icon. And we, again, have no action, so we need to set up an action. So let's say when someone presses this icon, we want this to update the logged in user. And what we want to update is the book's favorited. So we want to add this current book and click done. And we also need to set an action for what happens when they click it again. So we want to add an action that updates again that logged in user, but this time we want to remove that book. And so now we have this button component set up. You can also use pre-configured components. If you scroll down here, Adalo has a marketplace where you can scroll through and find a component that might be relevant to your app design, and you can install it into your app. If you want to preview what your app looks like, because you can't really see the data populated here, you can click on preview. However, you are going to need to sign up for an account and you'll see your details migrate over to your user data collection. And then you can see what it's like going through the sign up flow. And then you can also test out the login flow too. And you can see what the data looks like actually coming through in the app.